In the future world, everyone has a number engraved on their arm. When the countdown reaches 0, that person dies instantly. Although genetic modification has frozen everyone's physical age at 25, survival still depends on constantly earning time, because time is the only currency in the future. People earn time, and they spend time. The rich can live forever, while the poor struggle every single day between life and death. Win grew up in the slums. Every morning when he wakes up, he has less than a day of time left. He lives with his mother. Although she is already 50 years old, she still looks 25. Today is his mother's 50th birthday, so yesterday Win deliberately bought a bottle of champagne. However, today they simply don't have time to celebrate. After paying rent and basic utilities, they have almost no time left. Even so, before leaving the house, his mother still gives Win half an hour to eat. After saying goodbye to her, Win rushes out to buy breakfast. Unexpectedly, prices have gone up again. Now even a regular cup of coffee costs 4 minutes. When Win reaches out to pay, the time on his arm is deducted brutally. Here, people can be seen arm wrestling everywhere. They gamble with time. Once someone loses all their time, they die immediately. Win is already used to this world. The poor can only survive by working non-stop to earn more time. But today, when Win receives his wages, he realizes his time hasn't increased at all. It turns out the company has raised its work quotas again. Because Win failed to meet the target, he has to work overtime until the end of the day. Feeling frustrated, Win goes to a bar to find his friend. His friend tells him that tonight there's a wealthy man at the bar, someone carrying over a century of time, and he's paying for everyone's drinks. Curious, Win turns around to look, but unexpectedly notices someone else first. Win immediately steps forward to warn the rich man that someone is targeting the time on his arm. But before he can finish speaking, the time thieves arrive. The bar erupts into chaos as customers flee in all directions. It's obvious the thieves are here for the wealthy man. Yet when the rich man sees the thieves, he shows no fear at all. He calmly says that when they arrive, he'll hand over his time obediently. He then rushes into the restroom. While the rich man is vomiting, Win seizes the opportunity, rushes in, and before the thieves can react, helps him escape. They hide in an unfinished building. Once they're sure they're safe, Win asks why he came here, and why he openly flaunted so much time, putting himself in danger. After calming down, the rich man tells Win the truth about this world. For a few to live forever, the many must be sacrificed. If no one ever died, what would happen to the people being born? That's why the wealthy control taxes and prices, keeping the slums at a fixed size. Only this way can social order be maintained, because time is a limited resource. If the rich want immortality, they must take it from the poor. Win is completely shocked. The rich man then asks him a question.
If you had as much time as I have, what would you do with it?
Win lowers his head and looks at his clock. Both men fall silent. The next morning, while Win is still asleep, the rich man quietly approaches him. He transfers all his time to Win, keeping only his final 5 minutes. When Win wakes up, the man is gone, and Win discovers he now has 100 extra years. Win walks to the window and finds a message the man left behind, telling him not to waste his time. Looking through the glass, Win sees the rich man sitting on a bridge. He rushes outside, but it's too late. When the countdown reaches 0, the man convulses and falls into the river. By the time Win reaches the bridge, the man is already dead. At a loss, Win goes to his closest friend and tells him everything. His friend warns him to stay quiet, because a poor man with that much time is extremely dangerous. After thinking it over, Win leaves 10 years of time to his friend. Then he buys a bouquet of flowers and goes to the bus stop where his mother usually gets off. Today, he wants to surprise her. But something unexpected happens. Bus fares suddenly double, from 1 hour to 2. His mother no longer has enough time to pay the fare. She suggests someone will make up the difference at the stop, but no one on the bus helps her. Left with no choice, she runs home. When Win doesn't see his mother get off the bus, he realizes something is wrong. He runs toward her. The two race desperately through the streets until they finally see each other. His mother reaches out, and Win sprints toward her. But at the exact moment they embrace, the countdown on her arm reaches 0. She dies in Win's arms. Win breaks down in tears. At that moment, his eyes fill with hatred. In his heart, he swears that those who created these rules will pay the price. Win then boards a bus to the wealthy district. Along the way, there are numerous checkpoints, each demanding heavy tolls. The rich district is completely different from the slums, lush environments, towering buildings, a world Win has never seen before. When he gets off the bus, Win instinctively starts running, until people around him stare in confusion. Only then does he realize, he now has over 100 years of time. Win accidentally catches the attention of a young woman. She has never seen anyone run just to save time. At the hotel, Win rents a suite. Next, he must learn how to live like the rich. But even then, he doesn't fit in. Despite rehearsing this life in his head, his hurried expression while eating makes him stand out. That evening, Win goes to the Royal Casino. Just the entrance fee costs 1 full year. Because he's from the slums, he only knows how to play one card game. Unexpectedly, the stakes are enormous. His opponent immediately bets 50 years. With no choice, Win follows with 50 years of his own. But Win underestimated his opponent. The tycoon across from him was the director of the World Time Bank, a man with more than 10,000 years on his clock. When the opponent raised the bet by another 200 years, Win saw through the bluff. He locked away all his time, leaving himself with only the final 30 seconds. If he lost, he would die instantly. Luckily, when the dealer revealed the cards, Win won the hand. He took more than 1,000 years in winnings. His all-or-nothing gamble shocked the bank director, who invited Win to a party the next day. The girl Win had met earlier turned out to be his own daughter. From the very first moment they saw each other, the two of them unconsciously exchanged affectionate looks. To attend the evening party, Win spent 60 years on a sports car. When he arrived at the bank chairman's mansion, 3 stunning women greeted him at the door. After the chairman's introduction, Win learned they were his mother-in-law, his wife, and his daughter. This was how the rich lived. Time left no trace on their bodies. During the party, Ava approached Win. She had already guessed that he came from the slums, but she showed no hostility. Instead, she admired his life. At least he had the courage to do what he wanted, unlike her, bound by the strict rules the wealthy must follow to achieve immortality. Seeing this, Win took Ava outside the villa. Before them stretched a deep blue sea, the first Win had ever seen. Without hesitation, he took off his clothes and jumped in. After a moment of hesitation, Ava followed. It was the first time she had ever broken the rules set by her parents. An unusual connection grew between them. Just as their emotions peaked, the bank director appeared, and they hurried back to the villa. Before Win could relax, the time police arrived. Surveillance footage had shown Win at the scene of the tycoon's death. He now possessed an enormous amount of time and was suspected of murder. Win explained that the time had been given to him voluntarily, but the police didn't believe him. Who would give up immortality to seek death? They didn't care about justice, only that such a vast amount of time should never belong to a poor man. The police seized all of Win's time, leaving him just 2 hours to complete arrest procedures. Realizing even the police had abandoned justice, Win snatched the weapon, took Ava hostage, and used her as the bank director's daughter to force the guards to back off. He escaped the villa. The time police quickly pursued them. After a desperate chase, Win managed to shake them off and fled with Ava to the slums. But a roadblock appeared, their car crashed. They had run into time thieves. When they woke up, Ava had only 30 minutes left. Fortunately, they were close to a residential area. Win ran desperately with Ava. He planned to ask his best friend for help, only to discover the friend had squandered the 10 years Win once gave him and died drunk in a bar. Overwhelmed with regret, Win realized his kindness had cost his friend's life. They now had only 2 minutes left. In panic, Win noticed Ava's earring was actually a diamond. They pawned it and exchanged it for 2 days of time. Safe for the moment, Win asked Ava to call her father. The time police were with the bank director. Win demanded a ransom of 1,000 years in exchange for Ava's safe return. Shockingly, despite his vast wealth, the director hesitated. As they waited, Win and Ava grew closer. Ava realized Win wasn't a bad person, and Win saw that Ava was genuinely kind. When the next day arrived, it became clear the director refused to pay. Win decided to let Ava go and even gave her a gun for protection. In their short time together, Ava had fallen in love with a brave, kind man. After calling her father, she finally understood his coldness. Just then, the time police tracked them down. Seeing Win unaware of the danger, Ava fired first. The officer fell. With no turning back, Ava stole a police car, and they escaped together. Soon, the news reported them as fugitives. For the first time, they directly confronted the injustice of this society. They agreed to break the rules and rebuild social order, by stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. They began robbing wealthy pedestrians, then escalated to time banks. They seized large numbers of time units and distributed them to the poor. As their actions intensified, the police located them. Just as they were about to play cards, officers surrounded the building. Fortunately, Win always stayed alert. They smashed a window and escaped directly. However, the time police did not give up the chase. Relying on his familiarity with the slums terrain, Win led Ava through alleys and across rooftops. Just as the police were about to catch up, they got into a car and sped away. After that, the two planned to take over an entire building outright. But they were quickly discovered by the time thieves, since they had recently seized a massive amount of time. This had long made the thieves seethe with jealousy. Even so, the villain was strange. He could clearly have shot Win dead, yet he insisted on a fair hand-to-hand duel. At first, Win pretended not to care and let his time run out. When a countdown appeared on his arm, the opponent predictably lost focus and lowered his guard. At that moment, Win launched a counterattack. The sudden reversal instantly drew everyone's attention. Seeing the opponent's time about to hit zero, Win decisively pulled the trigger. After that, the two immediately fled to the rooftop. At that point, however, they discovered that the wealthy had raised prices once again. Win instantly understood, no matter how much time he stole, As long as the rich kept raising prices, the poor would still be drained of all the time they took, with absolutely no impact on the rich. Ava then asked how much time it would take to hurt them. Wynne said it would require stealing 1,000,000 years. After thinking for a moment, Ava said she knew a place with that much time. So the next day, Ava pretended to surrender, while Wynne took the opportunity to pose as a bodyguard and restrain the bank manager. When the vault was opened, there it was, a time machine holding 1,000,000 years. Seeing them about to take the time machine, the bank manager said that if the poor were to obtain those 1,000,000 years, the current social system would collapse. Perhaps they could break the order of this generation, but there would always be people who wanted eternal life. And the price of immortality could only be the sacrifice of others. Sooner or later, society would return to the way it is now. Wynne, however, did not hesitate. Just as they were about to take the time machine, the time police discovered what was happening. To prevent that time from flowing into the slums, the time police directly gave the order to kill on sight. Fortunately, Wynne snatched the bank manager's car on the way out. The car's powerful bulletproof capability allowed him to break through the checkpoint. When Wynne returned to the slums, he immediately distributed all the time to the poor. The time police soon caught up. Wynne could only keep fleeing with Ava. But the police still managed to catch them. At this moment, Wynne was not nervous at all, because he happened to have only a few minutes left. If the police wanted to arrest them, they would have to let them live. At that very moment, the officer realized something. He lowered his head to look at his own arm, then suddenly collapsed. Wynne pulled Ava along and continued to run, but their time was also about to run out. In this critical moment, Wynne spotted a police car parked not far away, equipped with a time machine. The two immediately rushed toward it. Wynne arrived a step ahead, replenished enough time for himself, then turned back and ran toward Ava. He absolutely refused to let the person he loved most collapse in his arms ever again. With this desperate gamble, Wynne finally outran time. The two lovers embraced tightly. In the film's final segment, because the slums had shared that 1,000,000 years of time, everyone eventually moved toward the wealthy district. From that moment on, the boundary between the two time zones was finally broken. Even the time police gave up protecting time. As for Wynne and Ava, they continue to rob the rich to help the poor. They will keep becoming the time highway, guarding fairness and justice in this society. The film ends here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give the channel a subscription. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.